Welcome back to my wonderful channel, everybody. It may not be wonderful, but hopefully it's getting there. I just wanted to talk about this video really quickly. I shot the video in May. It was my first 4,000 footer. I pretty much scrapped the project. I completed the hike, I summited the mountain, but due to the conditions and my level of preparedness, I didn't meet my goal, which was to basically summit the mountain and then continue slightly past that to a tent site or tent area with tent pads, and and camp out overnight, and then in the next morning make my way down the other side. Pretty much what had happened was, and I did my climb, and as I got to the top, even in May, there were probably at least 1.5 feet, 2 feet, sometimes I think a little bit more snow than that. And I said, nah, I'm not gonna need my shoes. I left my snowshoes in the car. I didn't have any micro spikes or anything like that. And the pass to the tent area was pretty well blocked, in my opinion. So pretty much I filmed the whole way up, made it to the summit, and then once I got up to the summit, because of the conditions and everything, I basically just ended up making my way down. And because of that, I was a little discouraged, and I didn't post this video in May. And now, as I'm getting ready to make a second go at it in just a couple of days, I went through all my GoPro footage, and as it turns out, in my opinion, it's not a bad video. So the only thing that we miss is camping at the end, which I didn't end up doing anyways. So if you want to hang out and watch a video, I'd appreciate it. As we get to the end, you'll see the conditions change and get to the snowy area. I'll hit the summit, and then I did take some photos up there, so you'll at least get to see the photos of the summit. And then I basically just made my way down the same way that I went up. So really the only thing that you're missing is me setting up a tent and eating some dehydrated food. So I don't think we missed a whole lot, but thanks for checking in. Take a look at the video. Let me know what you think. We'll talk to you soon. All right, folks, we're in the woods, or the start of it. We're getting ready to reach the river. We just stepped off. It's pretty awesome so far, being probably one of 3 cars in the parking lot and a very busy place. We're gonna start the trail here. To start, the Lincoln Woods Trail it's basically like a highway, very beginner. It's like 1 mile and 1.5 or 1.8 miles, I think, and you can move quite fast on it. And it runs along the beautiful river here for, I think, most of its duration. It's pretty amazing here. One of my favorite places to be. So far the weather's great. Thin layers. I probably will encounter some ice or snow once I get off of the Lincoln Woods Trail onto the Osseo, however you pronounce it, trail. So I'm gonna get across this bridge here and check in with you in a few minutes once we get on the highway. All right, so here we are on the Lincoln Woods Trail. As you can see, it's more of just a pretty smooth path, and at some points it's a pretty straight line. And you got the river the whole time right on the side of you. It's 1.4 miles to the junction that I need to hit to shoot off onto the Osseo Trail, which I think is 4 miles and some change, 4.5 miles or so. And then I believe after that I have another branch of about 1.5 miles, I think, Altogether, it's 11 a.m. and I'm starting. So I'm kind of just going to cruise along the Lincoln Woods Trail. It's a little chilly out already. You get in the woods and it's gray. So, you know, it's always a challenge. Do you want to put the layers on? I try to start with them off. Because chances are I'm out of shape. And, you know, just walking on this flat terrain, you get a little winded. So you're going to get warm, you're going to start sweating. And the last thing you want to do when it's probably going to drop below freezing tonight is get yourself all wet. Synthetic layers are super important. So I start with just the light layers and start my trek in. If I have to, I have easy access to the additional layers, but this is what we're working with right here. Just walking down the highway, getting the hamstrings, getting the old hammies warmed up. It is pretty awesome out here right now. Like I said, it's always been one of my favorite places to be, and I'm super excited that there's basically nobody here right now. So probably 3 cars in the parking lot or something like that. If you come to this area on a holiday weekend, it's completely jammed. So, but enough of that. Let's get some miles in, and when I have anything noteworthy, I'll show you guys. So we'll talk to you soon. So I finally made it to the first clearing where I can finally show you folks the river, get a better view of it. But on the left side of the trail, on my left, I'm traveling this way. On the left side is a pretty steep cliff, and you can see all the runoff from the mountains. But this is what's on my right side for the start of this. I'm kind of like a little kid in a candy store right now. This is significant because you don't have to carry a ton of water. If you spend any amount of time outside, you know that it's really not safe to just, you know, fill your Nalgene off in the river and drink it. But I carry a filter with me, as most people do, and or you can boil the water, which I can also do. But I think it's pretty amazing. Like I said, one of my favorite places to be so far, because I haven't really done this a whole lot. So you guys are kind of coming with me for the start of all this for me. And I know there are probably a lot of folks that, you know, like, well, big deal, buddy. You're on the Lincoln Woods Trail and you're going to go to a tent site in the White Mountains. But it's a pretty anxious thing for me to just go ahead and just do. You know, you pack your stuff up and you're by yourself in, you know, bear country, so to speak. Black bears, but, you know, still a little dangerous. The biggest problem, I would say, is probably the weather changing on you. But, you know, still kind of out in the middle of nowhere outside of cellular service and everything. So it can be a little anxious, but so far having fun. I think I'm about a mile in, and definitely getting warm already. So good thing that I didn't start with the little down coat on. I would have been taking it off already. So that's it. Just wanted to show you what we were working with here, and we're just gonna keep on keeping on.
One thing I want to share with you folks that I don't like about this place. Oh, these dang railroad ties. They don't look so bad, probably in the video. So a lot of walking over them. And you try to stick to the side over here. Lots of crap to trip over. Because anybody that knows me knows that I am notoriously clumsy. And the last time, you know, I did a hike up here, ended up having to pass off my pack and limp down the mountain, and that took a while to heal. Messed up my ankle pretty good. One of the reasons why I haven't been out here in a while, so nobody's heard from me in a while. One of the reasons why. And like I said, started a business at home, and it's taken a lot of time, but I'm good now, ankle wise, work wise. So here I am, enjoying the sights. Definitely no shortage of water here. So, but it's a nice sound. You probably can't see him. Don't think I can zoom in on this thing. Your little friend over there. Oh, chipmunk. It's amazing how large they sound in the woods. You spook one right on the side of the trail and you're waiting for a deer to run out in front of you or something. So, anyways, moving on. All right, here we are, boys and girls. We are at our junction, Osseo Trails, where we're heading. And that will take us to Liberty Spring. Cool part is, got this nice little pool at the start of the trail, so had you needed to fill up, it would definitely be a good place to do that. We're not on the main highway anymore, so it's time I start paying attention to the trailblazes. So, you know, stick to the usual yellow markings, I believe, on this one. This is all new territory for me, so we are on definitely more of a trail now than on the basically wilderness highway we were just on. So here we go, Osseo Trail to Liberty Spring, which is Mount Liberty, so, or at Mount Liberty. I'm not quite sure of the geography yet since it's my first go, but Liberty Spring is the goal. Liberty Spring tent site is my plan. Like I said, I am prepared to hang out in the woods if need be, but I wanted to plan on the tent site just because I wasn't sure what I was going to encounter. So 1.4 miles in so far and counting, so we'll see what we run into next. Some tracks by the river down there. I don't know if we can see them, but let's go take a look. They don't much look like dog tracks to me. Footprints. Pretty good size. I don't know. Guess it's possible they were a black bear, but not really legible anymore. So back onto the trail we go. Getting too old for this. So a little bit into the Aseo Trail, or Aseo, and starting our ascent now. Some of it. So let's hope I have it in me. And lastly, definitely hope there aren't too many clouds to stop our view. So there you go. We are in a forest protection area, the east branch of the Pemigewasset River. So it's got a pretty sizable climb for somebody that hasn't done a whole lot in several months. So I'm gonna get up this hill, maybe stop for some water. Pretty neat. Still going up, but basically have this little footpath on the side of you, pretty steep ridge, and then it drops off down to the river. I am absolutely dying. So slow going up. So we'll keep on. Find a good place to hang out for a minute. We'll stop and have some water. Gotta stay hydrated. Definitely need to stay hydrated. Since it's a little bit cooler, you'll often think you don't really need to drink that much water. But you do. I'm also in no hurry. It's only like 11:30, and I think altogether, like I said, there was probably 8 or 9 miles, I think it was, and I don't want to get there with nothing to do. So here we go. Whew. See you in a bit. All right, I'm gonna stop holding you guys down here. It gives me that whole turkey neck thing. Start doing what everybody else does and do the higher views. Anyways, got about a half a bottle of water in me and some Planters trail mix, and you immediately start to get cold. Or, chilly. It's like 38, I think it was when you started. It's warmer now. 40s. I think it's in the high 40s right now, but it's definitely enough to get cold pretty quickly when you're wet and from sweating, and you stop for any amount of time. So that's why it's super important to manage your layers and how sweaty you're getting and all that good stuff. So we took a little break, and we are moving again. Heading up. Up and up. I can understand now what a lot of other folks that I watch and follow mean when they use a popular expression that a 1 mile in the White Mountains is like 2. They don't really do a whole lot of switchbacks, just a straight up trail. It goes up. So still big drop on the other side, and quite a rise on that side. Old down birch tree. A lot of birch in this area. I'd be scooping up some bark if I didn't already have a little fire bag set up with some of it in there. And there's a ton of it in this area. Some of the other areas that I hike in, not so much. A lot of pine, stuff like that. But it's all over the ground here, so I would definitely be suggesting grabbing some of that up. But we're good for now. All right, pressing on. Stopped to catch my breath again a little bit. Mosquitoes are actually kind of ruthless right now. We had a pretty mild winter. We had lots of rain. It's been raining for days. So all this down stuff is, you know, it's all pretty damp. Bunch of rotted logs, and the river's down there. I just wanted to show you guys what we're working with here. Pretty amazing views off to the side as I make my way up this trail. And try to get to a scenic area, maybe hang out for a little bit and make some lunch. Like I said, not in a hurry at all today because it's just now noon. Sundown I think is 7:45, 7:55, and I've still got a large amount of time to cover the grounds that I need to cover. Stopping in this area really wouldn't be, oh sorry, I think I lost you there. Stopping in this area wouldn't really be a great idea, simply because of the decline on that side and the incline on that side. If I had brought my hammock, probably would have been fine. But I didn't bring my hammock because I don't own an underquilt yet. And those can be pretty important in staying warm in a hammock when you're off the ground and it gets below freezing. So I want to keep climbing, and once again I'll check in with you in a little while. Hey everybody, one of the things that I wanted to work on, you know, as part of my, you know, outdoor adventures and education is the use of, you know, edibles and things you can find around you. A lot of folks talk about the possum mentality, you know, grabbing stuff that you come across, which I think is pretty cool as a concept. And one of the things you hear a lot about and see a lot of on YouTube and all sorts of stuff and herbal remedies is chaga mushrooms or fungus. I have not come across many, you know, many wild edibles. I do live in Rhode Island, and there are some there, but it's pretty limited. And it's my understanding that chaga, I have an idea of what it looks like, not absolutely certain. Definitely wouldn't go using it without making sure. But it's my understanding it grows on birch. And as I, you know, make my way up this trail here, there is a down birch, and I found some chunks of it, and I believe that this is a chaga fungus. It's hard as a rock, you know, black in color, and you can kind of see, hopefully you can see, it has that brownish color to it. There's a couple of little chunks of it. So I'm pretty sure that that's, this one's really on there, that is in fact what this is. And I may take one of these with me and leave the rest behind just so I can, you know, investigate a little further. They're pretty sought after, so I think I'm gonna grab one so we can take a look. Anyways, thought it was interesting. Pressing on. Definitely had to take the lid off. I am sweating, and we don't want to do that. So I may end up shedding this layer. Oh, definitely not alone. Probably one of those little itty bitty chipmunks. Anyways, definitely don't want to take this off because I have just a t-shirt on underneath it. And while that'll be okay while I'm moving and sweating, I kind of like to avoid it. But we're just gonna see if we can stay cool, move a little bit slower, take our time as we traverse more of the climb. You can see that, at least here, the river is still alongside me, and I am getting higher up there. Very cool stuff. Anxious to see what it's gonna look like when we get up there. So I will hopefully find a place that's kind of cool. I can hang out and make lunch and chill out for a bit. Probably won't bother y'all until I find that, so we'll see in a little while. Breather number 6, something like that. Definitely getting up there. It's getting a little gray, a little chilly. The forecast went from 0% chance of rain to about 50% chance of rain, which, you know, I was warned could happen. I just stopped to take a breather and kind of admire the scenery. Everything's definitely a lot closer and more detailed, you know, in person. I'm shooting my videos with a GoPro, so I can't really zoom in all that well. But I don't know if you guys can see it, probably not, but down in there it's all ice and snow still. So we're not totally out of the woods as far as the cold is concerned. It's strange times. Snow on the ground, mosquitoes lighting me up. So not really sure what's going on with that, but it's happening. And I'm just continuing the trek up Osseo Trail. I'm really anxious to see, you know, what views I can, oh boy, big steps, get when I get up there, since, as I said, this is my first, you know, backpacking, a real backpacking adventure in these mountains. So I'm not sure, you know, what's available, what's up here, and what everything looks like. Oh, here we go. All snow and ice, and I'm starting to hit ice on the trail, so let the games begin. Whew. Bad snow, go away. So that's what current sit rep is. Yeah, see, all ice and snow down there, still melting. It's about 45 now, like I said. It could get to just below freezing tonight. 30, 31 or so. But I'm pretty well off sleeping gear wise. The tent pads, that area has wooden decks with tent pads. You're not supposed to have fires there, so I really won't be doing that. I brought my stove for cooking purposes, so I'll get there eventually, set up the tent, and make some dinner and hang out and relax. Allegedly about, I think it's 8/10 of a mile from the tent pads, I think it runs into, I think it's the Franconia Ridge. But I'll have to consult the Oracle when we stop. But for now, climbing. See you in a bit. Another discovery and stuff you don't see in good old Rhode Island. Not 100% sure. Like I said, knowledge of edibles is limited, and it can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. But I don't know. I've seen a few items similar to those. It looks kind of like chicken of the sea. You guys tell me what you think. Probably a lot of folks know a lot better than I do. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the other one is chaga, but not 100% on that. And that one may be edible as well, this one here. So, keep on keeping on. I don't know whose idea this was, but it could possibly be a bad one. God, I'm tired. It's not because of trail difficulty. I'm just out of shape. You know, I probably imagine most of us are. So I stop periodically. I'm trying not to take the pack off and get cold. But in a little bit, I'm gonna need a break, and I'm gonna have to. It's pretty amazing up here, man. You can see the snow and the ice on the cliff faces over there. We're pretty close to the river as well. And again, pretty deceiving in terms of angle here. So, you know, a little more than I'm used to. I think the highest elevation gain you can achieve in Rhode Island is like 1,000 feet or some damn thing. I don't think it's very much. At the end of this, I will have summited my first 4,000 foot and up peak. That's not to say there was an elevation gain of 4,000 feet, because I think you start a little over 1,000 here. So New Hampshire obviously is already up there in terms of elevation. So it's not necessarily a gain on foot of 4,000, but probably something like 3,000. Either way, still a milestone. Because even if I had started at 0, I've definitely never hiked or backpacked 1,000 feet. More ice. Probably see a lot of that, no biggie, right? We are getting up there, as you can see. Starting to run into more pines, more ice, and hopefully, I'm really trying to hold out for a flat spot, someplace to kind of hang out for a few minutes, and make lunch, and take a little bit of a break. But if I don't get that, then obviously I'll just have to pop a squat on the side of the trail here. So, see you in a bit. Well, I stopped sweating for the most part because it's gotten a good bit cooler up here as I go up. It just gets a little bit colder and colder, which obviously is going to happen. A little bit more difficult for my chubby butt to breathe. It gets colder, more ice, and the terrain is taking the turn for the worse. Worse, best, better, however you want to look at it. But it's certainly getting more difficult. I mean, you can't really see it in the frame, but talking about pretty good pitch. People have done it, you know, kids do it. Just when you're not used to it, it gets to be more difficult. So I'm gonna have to be careful on this stuff and probably go hands-free. But hopefully we're getting there. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. I'm a good few hours in, and to be honest with you, I have no idea how far along the trail I am. I mean, I know where I am, which trail I'm on, which direction I'm heading, but I didn't exactly use the old school pace counter or beads or anything to figure out, you know, how far I'd been, because it's really, I mean, this trip is 2 left turns basically. You're heading down Lincoln Woods Trail, you're taking a left onto Osseo, and it's taking you to the Liberty Springs Trail. So, you know, I got my map, GPS, all that good stuff. Just not sure how far along I am. But we just took a sharp right. I don't know if you noticed it or not. And we are heading up at a much faster rate. So we must be making some progress, because even the scenery on that side is starting to change and get higher up. So far, zero signs of life of any kind. No humans, no nothing. This trail is obviously, you know, on the easier side, and is widely used. It connects eventually, I don't think it's part of the AT, but connects eventually to the Appalachian Trail. Once we get up to where we're going, the network just kind of goes haywire. So it's, again, widely used, and a lot of people are sometimes on it. And there were 0 cars almost in the parking lot, at least at the trailhead that I started. So it is possible I will run into somebody, but so far, you know, nobody's up here. All right, here we go. Good climb here, so I'm gonna put you guys down and talk to you in a bit. Man, look at that. Can't see, unfortunately. I'll try to get a shot on my other camera, but that peak right there, it's pretty amazing. You can see all the ice on it. You just lose the detail in the camera, because I'm using a GoPro instead of a nice camera, but eventually I'd like to have a better one. But for now, this does the trick. Climbing up. Pretty steep on this side. And the opposite direction than that one. So, we're going up. We gotta be getting there. It's getting pretty hairy. I mean, nothing extreme, but definitely wish I owned a pair of spikes. I did buy a new pair of snowshoes, but on my ride here, it didn't appear, based on what I could see, that there was a lot of stuff left on the peaks. At least not enough for shoes. All this stuff is all ice, and it's melting partially and is a little wet. So obviously pretty dangerous because I got a lot of weight on my back, and could easily slip on this stuff. Blow out your elbow or break your wrist or some damn thing and get yourself into trouble up here. So try to skirt off to the side on the slippery stuff. And right now, walking on the hard stuff's not so bad. We got some footprints here. Somebody was up here probably a while ago, because they're already crunched in as I'm walking on top of it. So, oh, not anymore. Oh. Whew. Again, stick to the middle rather. So I gotta be careful over here and let you guys go again for a little bit while I traverse this icy, packed down icy trail without spikes. So one of the things, I'm not sure of, I didn't want to carry shoes and stuff up here if I didn't need them, and having no experience around here this time of year, obviously I know it's the White Mountains, they call it the White Mountains for a reason, but based on the time of year and everything, who knows, there's been a lot of rain, so I didn't expect, I wasn't sure what I would run into. So lesson learned, be careful for the moment. Next time, March into April, at least bring some spikes. So pressing on. Based on switchbacks and turns, I've pretty much established where I'm at on the trail, and we're doing good, making good time. I'm happy with when I should arrive at my destination. A little bit cooler up here, but it's good because I'm not sweating as badly, and it's definitely, oh boy, I don't know if you guys can hear that. Quite the rumble. Initially I thought I had thunder coming my way, but it's literally still going, so I'm assuming it's a plane at this point. And I know we had some aircraft doing some flybys and stuff as a morale booster for everybody. Anyways, yeah, so I'm getting there. And it's changed from the partial ice and snow to it's all snow, which is fine. Stick to the middle ground here. This stuff's hard and packed down for the most part, so the only thing my shoes would be useful for are the cleats in them, if that's what you want to call them. But definitely would have seen more use at this current moment with spikes. Stop the sliding. So yeah, I mean, we're in it. We are in the snow now, kids. So I'm gonna put you back down so I don't hurt myself, and check in with you in a bit. The snow has proven quite fatiguing. I think that the shoes might be beneficial. For the most part, like I said, I'm able to just walk on the middle But occasionally you punch through, and I'm on top of probably, I don't know if you can see it, but it's probably at least 2 feet at this point. In some places 18 inches or so, you know, there's, but it's definitely thick up here. Oh, anyways, maybe they weren't such a bad idea after all. I don't punch through very often, but when I do, it really is fatiguing with the pack on and everything, pulling yourself out. So sometimes it happens and you're like, well, I guess this is where I'm spending the night. And then another one, like a dang cavern in there. So it's definitely still here. Hey everybody, just checking in again. It's been a while since I checked in. It's been really tough going. I mean, I'm in snow now. It's on the middle of the trail, or in the middle of the trail rather. I mean, it's knee deep at least. I've gone through a few times. So I just started focusing on making some, making some progress. I've gotten to a small flat spot. I'm still climbing. Earlier I had mentioned, I kind of made a joke about Mount Liberty being funny with thinking you were hitting a flat spot and it was actually going up again, but it's not Liberty that I'm on. I'm actually going up, I think it's Flume. So I'll hit the peak of Flume and then go a little bit farther to the peak of Liberty. Liberty's a little bit higher than Flume, so I am hopefully getting closer to the intersection. It's at the peak of Flume, and then there's a trail that cuts off. So when I get there, my plan is to check in with you folks again. So I'm going to keep going. Hopefully I get to that intersection soon. I'm definitely getting up there though. And it was so difficult going through the snow. I went through so many times because I didn't bring my shoes. They're sitting in the car. But I was like, it's not going to be that bad, or it shouldn't. We've had a lot of rain. Next time, definitely bringing the shoes. I got to the point where I contemplated, well, it's only 2 o'clock. If I turn around now, I can make it back to the car before dark. But, oh, you see? But that would have been disappointing. And, I think I have a little more intestinal fortitude than that. I mean, that wouldn't have been a waste. I would have hiked several miles and gained a couple thousand feet in elevation. But, the 4,000 footer thing is an accomplishment for a reason. At least for me it is, and some folks it is. So I'm going to keep at it and check in with you in a little bit. So we'll see you in a bit. Oh, I'm just going to start my videos or my follow-ups with that instead of, hey everybody. I'm pretty sure I'm about to summit Flume, or at least I'm getting closer. I don't know if you can see, but it's a sharp left turn, and it is straight up. I don't have shoes or poles. Poles I don't own, and I will after this trip. I actually tried to get some for this trip, but with everything going on, it was a little bit difficult. Snowshoes I left in the car because when you look at the the scenery, you see very little snow, but the snow definitely hides well under the canopy of the trees. But I've really gotten to my first point where you can see anything like worth looking at, and so you come around this snowy bend here, and I'm sure that you can't really see very well in the in the videos, but they're a whole lot closer in person and pretty unbelievable looking. So better cameras will be better views. You can see the peaks in the ice and everything in person. Oh, and it's literally why you do this for several hours and kill yourself, is just so you can see that. So it's pretty amazing to me anyways. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. I've been going for a good few hours, trudging through the snow now, which has made it a whole lot more difficult, falling in, falling over. But I am hopefully getting there. The good news is, because I am so high up, you know, I have 4G service again. So I'm gonna keep going. I really wanted to get to camp hopefully around like 4:30, so I had a couple hours before dark to set up and try to dry out a little bit and eat something before, you know, it got darker and much colder. So I'm gonna get going again. I just wanted to share the view with you, and hopefully there are some more. So we'll see in a bit. Man, is it getting tricky to get up here. Oh, I'm starting to get a little nervous. But the trail is winding. It's literally like 45-degree angle. And the view is pretty unbelievable. You can see I'm literally just crawling, sometimes 3 points of contact on the snow. So I am hopefully almost there. Let's move. Oh, welcome back, everybody. So I've done it. I had to put you guys down for a little while. I was actually pretty nervous for a bit getting up the side of that mountain. The snow was steep enough to the point where you just couldn't put your leg up and take another step. I had to put you guys in the pack, put the gloves on, and literally chunk in footholds and crawl up a good part of it. Almost 100% that I am on the top of Mount Flume right now, and the snow is pretty serious up here. I don't know if you can see. If I get a little bit closer, you'll be able to. It's quite deep, and you can see the trail blaze is, you know, below my chest, and they're usually a good bit higher. Well, actually, not too bad over here, but it was waist deep, I would say, at least where I just came from. I know because I fell in it a couple of times. So I'm a little uncomfortable now. The knees are a little sore, my legs are toast, and I'm kind of nervous about, you know, where I'm gonna set up, because the snow is deep enough to the point where I don't imagine that the tent sites are, you know, they're not being taken care of right now because it's out of season. Additionally, they probably don't think anybody's stupid enough to be up here right now, but they were wrong. I mean, it's not a huge concern. I have my tent. I have a 15-degree bag with a 15-degree liner, so I'm good down to 0. That doesn't mean it's comfortable until 0. It means I won't get dead until 0. So, you know, worst case scenario, I have to pitch a tent up here, but you don't really want to do that. At 4,200 feet, it'll get pretty cold, so I'd like to get a little bit lower and, you know, a little more comfy. So I'm going to keep going. I think I'm probably 1.5 miles away from the site. It was really a goal of mine to make it to that site and at least see what it looks like. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to put you guys up again and check in with you in a little while. Talk to you soon.